First contact fallout. The stars stretched into brilliant streaks as the exploration vessel Horizon slowed from its faster-than-light journey. Captain Maya Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes reflecting the magnificent cosmic display on the view screen. Haven, humanity's furthest colony, appeared as a blue-green jewel against the void. All systems nominal, Captain, reported Lieutenant Raj Patel from the operations console. Colony is hailing us. On screen, Maya ordered, straightening her Navy uniform. After 6 months of deep space exploration, returning to Haven felt like coming home, even if Earth remained another 3 weeks' journey away. Governor Ellis's weathered face appeared on the view screen. Captain Chen, welcome back. I trust your expedition was successful. Maya smiled. Very. We've charted 17 potential habitable worlds in the Cygnus Arm. Earth will be pleased. Excellent news. We've prepared a reception. The governor's image suddenly flickered. Captain, we're detecting unusual energy signatures at the system's edge. Our sensors can't identify the source. Maya turned to her science officer, Commander Wallace. Wallace's fingers danced across her console, confirming unknown signatures, Captain. They don't match any registered human vessels. She looked up, eyes wide. They're approaching at incredible speed. Yellow alert. Raise shields as precaution, Maya ordered. Open all communication frequencies. Prepare first contact protocols. Humanity had ventured into the stars for nearly 3 decades, establishing colonies like Haven across several star systems, but had yet to encounter intelligent alien life. First contact procedures had been meticulously developed but never tested. The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency as the unknown vessels approached. 3 massive ships emerged from hyperspace, sleek, crystalline structures that seemed to shimmer with internal light. They're beautiful, whispered Lieutenant Patel. And heavily armed, added Security Chief Rowan. I'm detecting multiple weapon ports. Their technology appears far advanced beyond ours. Maya stood tall. This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth Alliance vessel Horizon. We represent humanity and come in peace. Welcome to Haven System. The view screen remained silent for several moments before flickering to life. The alien that appeared had iridescent blue-gray skin, 6 eyes arranged in a hexagonal pattern, and spoke through what seemed to be a translator device. I am Overseer Vexarn of the Xarathi Dominion. Your presence has been noted. The alien's tone was dismissive, almost bored. This system lies within Dominion expansion territory. Maya maintained her diplomatic posture. We were unaware of any prior claims. Haven is a human colony established 8 years ago. We would welcome dialogue about regional boundaries and potential cooperation. The Xarathi Overseer's upper eyes narrowed. Cooperation. Your species has barely mastered rudimentary space travel. You possess nothing of value to the Dominion. The alien studied something off-screen. Our records show no significant technological advancements from your kind in the last century of our observation. Maya exchanged glances with her first officer. They had been watching humanity. Nevertheless, Maya continued, we offer friendship and peaceful relations. Primitive species are categorized as non-threatening resource competitors. Vexarn interrupted. Standard protocol applies. You will witness the Dominion's power. Then your leaders will understand their place in the galactic hierarchy. The transmission cut abruptly. They locked weapons on Haven's capital city, shouted Chief Rowan. Intercept course. Maya ordered. Broadcast evacuation warnings to the colony. All power to shields and engines. The Horizon surged forward, but it was a research and exploration vessel, not a warship. As it positioned itself between the alien vessels and Haven, the Xarathi ships fired. Brilliant purple energy beams sliced through space. The Horizon shuddered violently as the first blast struck. Shields at 40%, Patel reported, clinging to his station as consoles sparked around him. Return fire, Maya commanded. Target their weapon systems only. The Horizon's defensive armaments seemed pitiful against the Xarathi vessels. Their shots barely disturbed the alien shields. Meanwhile, on the planet below, panicked transmissions flooded in as the colony's minimal defenses failed. "Captain," Wallace cried, "they're targeting the colony's environmental control center." Before Maya could respond, a devastating beam lanced past the horizon, striking Haven's surface. The bridge crew watched in horror as the blast created a shockwave that flattened the colony's central district. 20,000 civilians were in that sector, Patel whispered. The Exarathi commander's face reappeared on screen. "A demonstration. Return to your homeworld with this message. The Exarathi Dominion has designated your species as insignificant. You may exist on your worlds, but deep space belongs to the worthy. Trespass again, and your homeworld will share this fate." 2 Exarathi vessels disappeared into faster-than-light travel while the third remained. It fired precisely at the horizon, targeting life support and engines, but deliberately avoiding the bridge. "Abandon ship," Maya ordered as systems failed around them. "All hands to escape pods." As the crew evacuated, Maya remained on the bridge, manually launching the final pods. Commander Wallace refused to leave her captain. "The data cores," Maya said, fingers flying across the emergency console. "We need to preserve everything we've recorded about their ships, their weapons." "Captain, there's no time. Earth needs to know what they're facing," Maya insisted, transferring the sensor data to the last escape pod's protected memory banks. "Go, Sarah. Make sure this reaches the Alliance Council." Wallace hesitated only a moment before grabbing the data core. "It's been an honor, Captain." As the final escape pod ejected, Maya watched the Exarathi vessel through the failing view screen. Their casual brutality, their dismissal of human life as insignificant, it burned in her mind as the bridge erupted around her. In his command chamber, Overseer Vexarn dismissed the incident report with a gesture. "Another primitive species taught its place," he said to his second. "They will not trouble us again." He could not have been more wrong. The United Nations Security Council chamber fell silent as Commander Sarah Wallace finished her testimony. The lone survivor of the Horizon's bridge crew had spent 2 weeks in a cramped escape pod before being rescued by a mining vessel. Her recorded footage of Haven's destruction left world leaders stunned. 20,000 souls, whispered the Secretary General, gone without warning or reason. Admiral Elena Reyes, head of the Earth Alliance Defense Force, stood from her seat. Her weathered face betrayed no emotion, but her eyes burned with cold determination. "The Exarathi believe us weak and primitive," she stated. "They expect us to cower on our worlds in fear." "And what would you suggest, Admiral?" asked China's representative. "Their technology clearly surpasses ours. We've barely established our first extrasolar colonies." Admiral Rice's expression remained composed. "I suggest we let them believe they're right." The next day, Earth issued a formal apology to the Exarathi Dominion for trespassing in their space and publicly announced the suspension of all deep space exploration. Privately, the Security Council approved Reyes's audacious plan, Operation Silent Thunder. 6 months later, Dr. Takashi Kimura stood in a hidden facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, watching as engineers assembled prototype components. "Will it work?" asked Dr. Amara Okafor, his research partner. "In theory," Takashi replied, studying complex energy patterns on his holographic display. "The Exarathi shield technology operates on principles we've never considered before, but their attack gave us enough data to reverse engineer the basics." Amara nodded toward the massive chamber beyond the observation window and the drive system being constructed there. "Even better, their weapons revealed fundamental flaws in our conventional FTL design. We're not just catching up, we're leapfrogging their capabilities." Across the globe, similar facilities appeared in deserts, mountain ranges, and beneath oceans. The public remained unaware, told only that Earth was focusing on internal development after the unfortunate misunderstanding with the Exarathi. Former adversaries became allies, united by the stark realization that humanity's survival was at stake. 3 years after the Haven massacre, Operative Zoe Blackwood infiltrated HFY Space aboard a trading vessel from one of the non-aligned alien species that occasionally visited Earth's outermost mining operations. Disguised as cargo, she established the first of many hidden observation posts on the Dominion's fringes. Her encrypted reports painted a troubling picture. The HFY weren't just conquerors. They were systematic oppressors who had subjugated dozens of species across their vast territory. "They're expanding again," she reported. 3 more systems annexed last month. The conquered races are treated as little more than slaves. In the asteroid belt beyond Mars, hidden from both Earth and alien observation, the first shipyards took shape. Automated construction drones assembled massive vessels designed not for exploration but for war. Admiral Reyes inspected the flagship of the growing fleet, temporarily designated Thunder One. Its sleek, black hull absorbed light rather than reflecting it. "How many can we build?" she asked Project Director Singh. "With current resources, 60 capital ships and 300 support vessels within 8 years. If we accelerate production and bring the Jovian mining operations online sooner, perhaps more." Reyes nodded slowly. "And the weapon systems?" Dr. Kimura's team has exceeded expectations. The prototype cannons generate 7 times the energy of anything the HFY showed us, with better targeting and range. In a secure facility beneath the lunar surface, hundreds of pilots trained in advanced simulators designed from Zoe Blackwood's intelligence. They learned to think like HFY commanders, to anticipate their tactics and exploit their weaknesses. Meanwhile, on the public stage, Earth continued to play the role of the humbled primitive species. Their few permitted interstellar vessels were outdated, their communications respectful to the point of subservience. Overseer Vexarn, now promoted to High Commander, received the annual report on human activities, with barely a glance before tossing it aside. The humans had learned their lesson well. They posed no threat and warranted no further attention. Behind their mask of submission, humanity prepared. They would have only one chance to strike, and when they did, the galaxy would never be the same. Operation Reckoning. 10 years had passed since the destruction of Haven. On the 10th anniversary, Earth observed a solemn day of remembrance, while deep within the asteroid belt, Admiral Reyes addressed the officers of humanity's secret fleet. "Today we remember our dead," she said, her voice carrying through the command deck of the flagship, now named Retribution. "Tomorrow, we ensure their sacrifice was not in vain." Captain James Chen stood at attention among the gathered officers. At 42, he had spent the last decade preparing for this moment. More importantly, as Maya Chen's brother, he had a personal stake in what was to come. "Operation Reckoning begins at 600, Rice continued. "The HFY believe us broken. They will learn how wrong they are." Later, in the engine room, Dr. Kimura ran final diagnostics on his creation. The slender physicist had revolutionized propulsion technology, but his greatest achievement was the device humming softly before him. "Will it work across their entire network?" James asked, entering the chamber. Kimura nodded. "Their communication systems are standardized across their empire, a weakness we can exploit. When activated, this will create cascading failures throughout their relay stations. They'll be blind and mute for approximately 8 hours. 8 hours should be enough," James said. "It has to be." At exactly 600 Earth time, 300 human warships emerged from their hidden bases. Using coordinates provided by Zoe Blackwood's intelligence network, they positioned themselves at strategic points along the edge of space. No human vessel had ventured this far in a decade. On the Retribution's bridge, James gave the order, "Activate Kimura's silence." Throughout HFY space, communication hubs suddenly failed. Emergency systems attempted to compensate, only to crash in turn as the carefully crafted virus spread from node to node. "Silence confirmed," reported Communications Officer Madeline. "All HFY channels have gone dark." James nodded grimly. Launch strike teams. Phase 1 is active. Across the border of Xarethi territory, smaller stealth vessels detached from the main fleet. Commander Layla Rodriguez led the first wave, her team targeting a monitoring station at the Dominion's outer boundary. Shields at maximum, she ordered as they approached. Weapons hot. The Xarethi station, suddenly without contact with the Imperial network, barely had time to raise alarms before Rodriguez's vessel appeared directly above it. "They've spotted us," her tactical officer reported. "Too late," Rodriguez replied calmly. "Fire." Advanced energy weapons, the product of a decade of research, sliced through the station's defenses like paper. Within minutes, the facility was reduced to drifting debris. Similar scenes played out across 50 boundary points. Human vessels struck with surgical precision, eliminating Xarethi outposts before they could alert others to the danger. On the Dominion throne world of Xarethus Prime, confusion reigned. High Commander Vexarn demanded explanations as reports of communication failures flooded in from all sectors. "It must be a system malfunction," insisted his chief technician. "Perhaps solar flare activity." Vexarn was unconvinced. "Deploy scout vessels to all silent sectors. I want answers, not excuses." But the scout vessels never returned. By the time the Xarathi leadership realized they were under attack, humanity's fleet had already penetrated 3 layers of their defensive perimeter. Captain Chen watched the tactical display as green indicators confirmed successful strikes across the board. Phase 1 was complete with minimal losses. "The Xarathi are scrambling forces from their interior worlds," reported his tactical officer. "They still don't know who's attacking or from where." James allowed himself a small smile. Comments Phase 2. Target their shipyards and military installations. The human fleet moved deeper into enemy territory, their advanced stealth technology keeping them hidden until the moment they struck. Decades of Xarathi military infrastructure began to crumble under the assault. On a captured Xarathi communications array, Lieutenant Ryan Weber discovered something alarming. "Captain, I found plans for what appears to be a planet-killer weapon. They're building it in the Carvis system." James studied the data and immediately contacted Admiral Reyes. "Sir, we may have a complication." Reyes's response was immediate. "Redirect Strike Group 7 to Caris. Whatever they're building, destroy it before they can use it." As Earth rotated through another day, its citizens remained unaware that humanity had just launched the largest military offensive in its history. By dawn, the galaxy would never be the same. Vexarn's iridescent skin had paled to a sickly gray as reports flooded the Dominion war room. The massive holographic display before him showed alert indicators blinking across 1/3 of his empire. "Impossible," he whispered, watching another system go dark. "Who dares attack us?" The Mizari lacked the technology, and the Trill signed peace treaties centuries ago. Grand Strategist Kolnar, Vexarn's most trusted military advisor, studied the fragmented data with growing alarm. "High Commander, the pattern suggests a coordinated assault by an unknown force. They've destroyed 47 outposts, 22 shipyards, and 8 military bases in less than 12 hours. But who?" Vexarn slammed his appendage on the console. "Who possesses such power without our knowledge?" The answer came as communications briefly restored in Sector 7. A grainy transmission showed the destruction of the Xarathi battle cruiser Dominance. For a brief moment, the attacking vessel was visible, sleek, black, and bearing an unmistakable symbol. "Magnify that image," ordered Kolnar. The symbol expanded on screen, a stylized Earth surrounded by stars. "Humans." Vexarn's voice rose in disbelief. "The primitives we taught a lesson a decade ago. It appears they learned a different lesson than intended," Kolnar said grimly. In the command center of Earth's Second Fleet, military strategist Hannah Okoye monitored the Xarathi response. The former chess champion had designed their attack pattern specifically to confuse Imperial forces. "They're finally figuring it out," she noted as Xarathi ships began changing formation. They're recalling scattered forces to protect their core worlds. Admiral Rice's face appeared on the main screen. Assessment. Exactly as predicted, sir. They're creating a defensive perimeter around their key systems, leaving the outer territories exposed. They still think conventionally. Protect the center at all costs. Reyes nodded. Then we continue as planned. Hit what they don't protect while avoiding direct engagement with their concentrated forces. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Weber led a special operations team through the abandoned corridors of the Xarathi research facility in the Karis system. The strike force had arrived expecting heavy resistance, but found the station eerily deserted save for a skeleton crew who surrendered immediately. They evacuated in a hurry, noted Weber, examining scattered equipment. Whatever they were building, they couldn't take it with them. In the central chamber, they found it, a massive device humming with energy, easily the size of a small ship. Weber approached cautiously, scanning the technology with specialized equipment. Sir, he contacted Chen. We've located the weapon. It appears to be a gravitational destabilizer capable of tearing planets apart. If they had completed this, every human world would be vulnerable. Can you disable it? James asked. Better, Weber replied. We can take it. Dr. Okafor is here and says the technology is transportable. Across Xarathi space, Imperial commanders began to understand the true nature of their enemy. These were not the primitive humans they had dismissed a decade earlier. These humans fought with advanced technology and perfect coordination, striking from multiple vectors then disappearing before counterattacks could form. On the Xarathi throne world, Vexarn called an emergency meeting of the Dominion Council. How did they hide this? Demanded the Minister of Intelligence. We've had observers near Earth for years. They showed no signs of military buildup. They must have constructed their fleet in secret, beyond our observation range, Kolnar suggested. It doesn't matter how they did it. Vexarn interrupted. What matters is stopping them now. Recall all forces, every ship, every soldier. We will crush these upstart humans in one decisive battle. As the Xarathi Navy consolidated, Admiral Reyes addressed the United Galactic Assembly, a loose coalition of independent species that existed on the fringes of Xarathi influence. The Xarathi Dominion has committed atrocities against countless species, including unprovoked genocide against our colony, she stated firmly. Humanity seeks justice, not conquest. We ask all non-Xarathi vessels to remain clear of designated conflict zones. Several representatives exchanged glances. One brave delegate from the Mazari Cooperative finally spoke. If the Xarathi fall, what then? Do you humans intend to become the new Dominion? Reyes's expression remained resolute. We have no such ambition. When this is finished, all species will determine their own fate. As the galactic community watched in stunned silence, humanity's fleets continued their inexorable advance toward the heart of the Xarathi Dominion. The skies above Carathis Prime blazed with energy discharges as humanity's united fleet emerged from hyperspace. 500 warships arranged in perfect battle formation faced the hastily assembled Xarathi Defense Force. Captain Chen stood on the Retribution's bridge, surveying the enemy fleet. The Xarathi had gathered over 700 vessels to protect their throne world, but their formation showed signs of panic and hasty deployment. They outnumber us, observed his first officer. Numbers aren't everything, James replied calmly. Begin the approach sequence. All ships maintain formation delta. The human fleet moved forward with disciplined precision, their advanced shields absorbing the first volley of Xarathi weapons fire without faltering. On the planet below, Major Zoe Blackwood prepared her ground forces. 20,000 elite soldiers waited in stealth dropships, their mission critical to the battle's success. Remember your training, she told her troops through the comm system. Our objective is the planetary defense grid. Disable it, and our fleet can end this quickly. As the space battle intensified above, Blackwood's dropships slipped through gaps in the Xarathi detection network. Using data she had gathered during years of covert operations, they targeted landing zones near the main defense control centers. The first dropship touched down silently in a wooded area 3 kilometers from their target. Blackwood led her team out, their advanced armor blending with the surroundings. "Movement ahead," whispered her scout. "Sarathi patrol, 8 soldiers." Blackwood signaled her team to hold position. "Let them pass. We avoid engagements unless necessary." Meanwhile, in orbit, the battle had reached its peak. The human fleet executed complex maneuvers that confused Sarathi targeting systems, allowing them to inflict maximum damage while minimizing their own losses. "Sir, the High Commander is broadcasting," reported Officer Lin. On screen, Vexarn appeared, his usual arrogance replaced by barely controlled rage. "Humans, this meaningless attack will be your species' last mistake. Surrender now, and we may allow your homeworld to survive." Vexarn's face contorted with fury. "Never. The Dominion has ruled the stars for 1,000 years. We will not bow to primitives." "Then you leave us no choice," James replied calmly. "All ships, execute final protocol." Across the battlefield, human vessels suddenly changed formation, creating precise geometric patterns that puzzled the Sarathi commanders. Then, at exactly the same moment, each ship activated a specialized device. Dr. Kimura's final creation. The effect was immediate and devastating. A wave of quantum disruption swept through the Sarathi fleet, temporarily disabling their advanced weapons and shields. In the crucial 30 seconds that followed, precision human strikes disabled rather than destroyed most of the Sarathi vessels. On the planet's surface, Blackwood's team successfully deactivated the planetary defense grid. "All units report success, Captain," she transmitted to the Retribution. "The planet is defenseless." James nodded. "Begin broadcast on all frequencies, all languages." Throughout the Sarathi Empire, on every conquered world and vessel, the same message played. The Sarathi Dominion has fallen. Their military forces have been neutralized. To all subjugated species, you are now free to determine your own futures. The Earth Alliance offers protection and cooperation to any who seek it. Aboard the Sarathi flagship, Vexarn watched in disbelief as his mighty armada drifted powerless. A boarding party led by Captain Chen himself entered the command deck. James approached the High Commander, his expression solemn. 10 years ago, you destroyed a human colony because you believed us insignificant. Today, you learn the cost of that mistake." "Kill me then," Vexarn hissed. "Complete your revenge." James shook his head. "That's not our way. You will stand trial before a galactic tribunal, with representatives from every species your Dominion has harmed. Justice, not vengeance." 3 months later, representatives from 27 formerly subjugated species gathered on Earth to sign the Galactic Concord, a treaty establishing the principles of sovereignty, cooperation, and mutual defense. Admiral Reyes, now appointed as Earth's first galactic ambassador, addressed the historic gathering. 10 years ago, humanity learned a harsh truth. We are not alone in this universe, and not all who dwell among the stars come in peace. But we also learned something about ourselves. When faced with extinction, we chose defiance. When dismissed as insignificant, we proved our worth. She gazed across the assembled delegates, beings of all shapes, sizes, and evolutionary paths, united by their newfound freedom. The stars belong to no single species. Freedom belongs to all sentient beings. And we, the united peoples of Earth and our allies, will ensure that no power like the Sarathi rises again. On a memorial platform overlooking the ceremony, James Chen stood beside a statue of the Horizon's bridge crew, his sister's face captured in eternal vigilance. He placed his hand on the plaque bearing her name. "We did it, Maya," he whispered. "They'll never call us insignificant again." Above them, the night sky slowly revealed its stars, no longer distant points of light to be feared, but a cosmic community where humanity had finally found its place.